disappointed with that response. We had a great one this morning, and we had less people yesterday and got way more. How are y'all doing today? That's better. My name is Holden. I'm the host here of this War Machines event today at the Canadian War Museum. The one that we see right behind us driving around is in your books, and I'll note that in your books you'll have a number of vehicles with color codes as well as number codes on them. Vehicles like this one, these war machines here, we're going to be seeing a number of them today. Bonjour, je m'appelle et je suis là aujourd'hui pour cette activité consacrée aux machines militaires ici. Nous avons dans notre collection au Musée canadien de la guerre. Before we start today, I'd like to take a moment just to recognize that the land upon which the museum is built is the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin-Anishinaabe. This land has held great historical, sacred, and spiritual significance, and it's something that we look to recognize and honor through all our actions. Now, before I start, I was mentioning briefly that we have a number of vehicles we're displaying. In your guides, you can find a color code as well as a number code associated with each one. Dans vos guides que vous avez été donnés, vous aurez un code de couleur, mais aussi un nombre associé avec chacun des véhicules. The first one that we're seeing out here today, and that's driving around, is number 6. Number 6, color coded as red, and this is the Harley Davidson 43 WLC motorcycle. Cet véhicule qu'on voit en premier, c'est le code de couleur rouge, et numéro 6, Harley Davidson motorcycle Harley Davidson 43 WLC. Now, one thing I want to point out too is that activities like this wouldn't be possible without some of the dedication, passion, and effort of so much of our staff here today who helped to bring these vehicles to life. When looking at your guidebooks, our next vehicle is in purple. And it is color coded. Number 3, this is the Lynx Scout Car. Cet véhicule ici, en code violette, numéro 3, c'est le véhicule de reconnaissance sur route Lynx Mark II. Vehicles like this one were used by Canadian Armed Forces in Northwest Europe as well as in Italy. And over 3,000 of them were made here in Ontario, in Windsor. Let's give it up for Windsor, Ontario, and the Lynx Scout Car! Dans l'Italie et l'Europe du Nord-Ouest. Je prends ce moment juste pour reconnaître le fait que sans les passions, l'effort de chacun de nos employés ici au Musée canadien de la guerre, les événements comme ceux-là ne seront pas possibles. For our next vehicle, you're looking at color code green, number 5. This vehicle is the Ram Kangaroo. La prochaine véhicule, c'est le code de couleur vert, numéro 5. The Ram Kangaroo. Make some noise for the Ram that a vehicle was needed that could traverse the same kind of terrain as tanks, and as a result they decided to take the turret off a Ram tank and build the Kangaroo which we see here today. Pendant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, c'était décidé qu'un véhicule de transport blindé ils avaient besoin de quelque chose comme ça. Alors ils ont enlevé le turret d'un char d'assaut Ram, en créant le Ram Kangaroo qu'on voit aujourd'hui. Make some noise for the Ram Kangaroo and its drivers! vehicle. Notre prochain véhicule, code de couleur jaune, numéro 2, le M113, véhicule de reconnaissance Lynx. Hold on to your hat with this one, because when it comes up the hill, it comes up pretty quickly. Let's make some noise! Now, one of the reasons the Lynx can move pretty quickly is because it's lightly armored, used for reconnaissance, but also, too, in many instances, carried communications equipment, as well as was used as a mobile command center. And while it moves pretty quickly on land, in the water it could move at speeds up to 6 kilometers an hour. And again, let's make some noise for the Lynx! Ce véhicule, le M113 Lynx, un véhicule de reconnaissance, et avec ça, c'est légèrement blindé, très rapide, mais était aussi utilisé pour transporter les matériels de communication, mais aussi comme un quartier général. Quand même que c'est assez vite sur le terre, ça peut aussi traverser l'eau à 6 km/h. Now this vehicle is pretty loud, so when it comes back around after this last turn, I'd like us to try to drown it out. I want you to make as much noise as you can. So as it comes around, let's make some noise! Now, looking back at your guides, our next vehicle is color-coded as black, number 7. And this vehicle is the M113A2 Combat Engineering Vehicle. Notre prochain véhicule, code de couleur, c'est noir, numéro 7. Et ce véhicule ici, c'est le M113A2, véhicule du combat du corps du génie. Now, combat engineering vehicles like this one, you'll notice, are a little bit slower, and that's because it's got a little bit more armor, but you'll notice it's also got that bulldozer blade on the front, as well as an auger on the side, and that's because this vehicle was made specifically for the construction, as well as the destruction of military fortifications. Once again, let's make some noise for the M113A2! Probablement vu le lame de bulldozer, le lame de bulldozer à l'intérieur. Et ces outils ici ont été utilisés spécifiquement pour la construction, mais aussi la destruction des fortifications militaires. Now, while it's fascinating and fun to see all these vehicles drive by, something I should mention as well is once we are done our demonstration, each one of these vehicles will be parked along the railing behind me. At that point, you'll be able to speak with any of the drivers, learn a little bit more about the vehicles, about what they do. Well, while doing that, I ask that you still always remain on our side of the metal barriers. As it comes back up, let's once again make some noise for the M113A2! Dès que chacun de nos véhicules sont terminés notre trajet sur la piste, chacun va se stationner en arrière de moi et après vous aurez la chance de parler avec les conducteurs et les conductrices à propos de ces véhicules ici. Once again, some noise for the M113A2 and its driver! number 1. Notre dernier véhicule dans vos guides, c'est le couleur vert numéro 1. Let's get ready to rumble and make some noise for the Leopard C2. Now, Leopard tanks like this one have been Canada's main battle tanks since the 1970s, all the way until modern day, with Leopard C2s seeing action in the war in Afghanistan, and this one being used specifically from 2006 to 2011 in Kandahar. Again, let's make some noise for the Leopard C2! Utilisé ici par le Canada depuis les années 1970 jusqu'à nos jours aujourd'hui. Et cette char d'assaut, le Léopard C2, a été utilisé dans la guerre en Afghanistan, spécifiquement en Kandahar